This video is all about how I'm setting up my Red Hat Enterprise Linux 10 lab environment to pass the Red Hat Certified Systems Administrator test. I just passed my CompTIA Network Plus a few weeks ago, and this is the next goal of mine. I really want to learn Linux very intimately, really deeply, and have a really solid understanding of the operating system. I hope to, perform job duties, have a role that uses Linux daily. DevOps is the ultimate goal in the future. At the moment, I think that's what I want to do. So this is just, how I'm configuring all my different machines and setting everything up. Now, I am using this book right here, the Red Hat Enterprise Linux 10 RHCSA book by Asghar Ghori. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. I got the book for about 60 bucks. It's a little bit different. I'm used to watching Udemy videos while studying for CompTIA, so having to read the book and then do labs is a little bit different than what I'm used to, but I'm enjoying it so far. So I am using the book's recommendations for, I only have the one virtual machine and I'm in chapter 3, so I do need to create 3 additional Red Hat Enterprise Linux 10 VMs still. But this is working really well so far. I am using KVM, which is a Q emulator, KVM, Virt Manager, all that stuff. I just use Claude, I'll be totally honest. I use Claude to help me install this stuff, get it working real quickly. I really try to understand what I'm doing when I use AI as part of this process. I don't want to just blindly take things from the large language model. I do ask follow-up questions. I try to gain understanding of the commands I'm typing in. I even read them carefully. Um, I do a lot of LLM work while setting up my machines. So what I've done recently is I took some really old Chromebooks. I'll put some video footage on the screen of them, but I took an old Acer C720 and some other ASUS model that was a little bit newer, had 4 gigs of RAM. On the Acer, I was able to pop the back off and take the write protection screw out and install anti-X. And the other one, the ASUS model, I tried. There's no write protection screw, and I could not figure out how to jump the write protection on the board itself. So I had to use the HW Legacy option, which is just a dual boot. Not a big deal. I just hit Control L on startup, and it boots anti-X matter of seconds. That machine I configured with i3, a little bit of tiling Windows Manager, did a little bit of configuration to it, and that entire time I used Claude. And, again, I'm asking him questions as we're doing things, so I'm learning, right? I'm learning how I'm configuring the setup and documenting this entire process for GitHub too. I think that's going to be big for actually getting a job, having the certifications, networking, and then having the GitHub portfolio to show off the labs work. So keeping all that in mind as I'm learning. But basically, I'm running the virtual machine on KVM here on my CachyOS build here. Works great. I don't even use the graphical user interface at all. I just start the VM here, and then I go right onto my Chromebooks because they're so lightweight, easy to move around. I can sit on the couch, I can go into the bedroom, I can use them anywhere basically. And I'm doing a dual hop SSH at the moment. I did use, whoops, okay, I need to close this properly. Whoops, and do that. I use Virsh. This is a virtualization interactive terminal for networking, I guess. I really don't know how to use it very good, to be honest. I set up a NAT with it called RHCSA because I was trying to follow the book, and it has particular IP addresses. My private network was slightly different. I'm supposed to use bridge, so I have to actually connect an Ethernet cable to my machine, go into the router, reduce the scope of the DHCP a little bit and set some static IP addresses. But at the moment, this Virsh NAT is working just fine for me. There's a few extra steps involved, but it's not a big deal. So what I'm actually doing is I'm hopping on the Chromebook or the anti-X Chromebook machines. I SSH into this machine right here, Katahdin, I've named all my machines after mountains on the Appalachian Trail recently is kind of like a fun little theme. Me and my wife hiked the Appalachian Trail back in 2021, so kind of a cool little fun way for me to remember all my computers. But so I SSH into this box, and then I can SSH from this machine into the RHEL 10 virtual machine, right? I call it RHEL, RHEL, and not a big deal. You know, there's a few quirks that I sorted out. I use a particular SSH command, -t, and then bash, no RC to eliminate some glitching I was getting in the terminal, but all of it's working really well so far. It's really fun. I had a blast configuring the Chromebooks, and I love anytime I can necromance, you know, some old hardware. I think that's a blast, bringing old hardware back from the dead and repurposing it. And Anti-X Linux works great on these little Chromebooks. A lot of fun. Cool process so far. So learning Linux through a book, like I mentioned, is a bit different than what I'm used to. You know, watching a ton of videos on Udemy. Different learning, but I'm enjoying it. So now that I have everything configured, it's time to just start grinding and learning. So I'm going to do my best job to document a lot of this learning right through the YouTube channel and on my GitHub. And we're going to go from there, basically. I'm going to have a lot of fun doing this and sharing it. Hopefully I'll meet some other cool people out there who are using Linux and working with it in the field. Really looking forward to landing a role in the IT industry. It sounds really scary right now when I read things online. It seems like the industry is really tough to land roles in, especially for junior or entry-level positions, but I'm determined, I'm dedicated, I'm a lifelong learner. I really think I can get my foot in the door. I am working on the networking aspect of things as well, so should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to talking to more people out there who are in the field or just doing this as a fun hobby. That's all I got for today. Thanks.